I am a massive fan of the Persona series. I also enjoy earning the achievements and trophies in all the games. So while waiting for Persona 3 Reload to release, I decided to see how quickly I could earn Persona 5 Tactica's trophy. Persona 5 Tactica is the most recent spin-off game starring the Persona 5 cast, where shortly after the events of Persona 5 Royal, the Phantom Thieves are whisked off to another world, not quite like Mementos, but find themselves in a medieval-style town where the ruler Marie is preparing for her dream wedding. And yes, you did hear that right. Marie brainwashes most of the team, aside from Joker and Morgana, and when things are looking grim, we're introduced to a new character for Tactica, Erina. While Erina lacks a persona, she educates Joker and Morgana on how the world works, and helps them work on a plan to capture the captured Phantom Thieves. Erina also takes the squad back to the hideout, which is revealed to be LeBlanc. Before finding the other Phantom Thieves, we find the missing politician mentioned in the prologue, Toshiro Katsukabe. Toshiro tags along before we rescue Ann and Futaba with Erina's special ability to summon a flag of revolution to overtake Marie's influence over the area. After rescuing Ann and Futaba, we jet back to LeBlanc and work out the details. Lavenza then summons us to the Velvet Room, which has been converted into an ironworks this time around, where we can forge new sub-personas for the team to equip, very similar to Persona Q games. This nets us our first achievement of the run, only 2.5 hours into the game. It's worth noting that during these sessions, during the hideout, you can also chat with your teammates about the current events. Listening to these conversations will earn us points for the skill tree, and also counts towards another achievement. So I'll be doing this every time we come back to the hideout. Shortly after, we head over to the next fortress where Ryuji and Haru are presumed to be. Toshiro decides to join us on the battlefield, and we are tasked with protecting him. As he scampers across the field, we nab another achievement for using Morgana's Zoro to displace enemies with Garu skills. Each mission has been set up with objectives complete, which usually include clearing the mission, finishing the mission under a certain turn count, and not having anyone get KO'd. I'll be aiming to get all these awards every time I tackle a mission. We finish up the mission to get Ryuji and Haru back to the team, without any issues as we target Marie's flag. Once back at base, we're introduced to quests, which are a few extra ways to earn skill points for each character's skill trees, and unlock new Persona fusion recipes, which will be required for the 100%. We nail out a few of these quests, which include some tough puzzle missions, which request you to complete them in one turn using the game's mechanics to your advantage. I have a few guides on my channel covering these missions specifically if you need help with them. While running through the second quest, we earn Erina's trophy, No Mercy, for inflicting Forget on enemies and clear the quest shortly after. Next, we're tasked with getting Makoto and Yusuke back, as they try to stop us from rescuing some of the citizens that Mario has been using for a giant wedding cake. Again, you've heard that correctly. During this mission, we managed to nab 2 trophies, Perfect Aim for 100 ranged attacks, and Dance Carmen for inflicting burn with Ann. As we destroy the flag controlling Makoto and Yusuke, Erina attempts to plant the flag but is shot and injured. Toshiro steps up to the plate and completes the mission. After chaos ensues, Mario shows up to stop us, however the citizens form a blockade and allow the group to escape. While trying to escape, we pick up another achievement for the collection, Manifest Your Will, which requires you to use 200 Persona abilities. After fleeing, we head back to the hideout, and the team takes some time to patch up Erina, and we head to the Velvet Room to create some new Personas. Here we cause a fusion accident, which gives Lavenza a free blowout, and scores us an achievement. Progressing the story a little further, Yusuke and Makoto get added to the roster and pops up the achievement, The Battle Begins. We then spend the next hour or so completing quests, story missions, and picking up Joker's achievement for inflicting despair with Arsene before we're ready to crash the wedding. During the time we spent storming through all the halls, we discover that Toshiro is actually Marie's groom through an arranged marriage for political power, something he didn't agree to. In between dialogue, we pick up Close Quarters Offense for 100 melee attacks, You're Wide Open for 201 mores, and Wipe Them Out Goemon for inflicting freeze on 20 enemies with Yusuke. During this mission specifically, our goal is to reach a destination with the entire party. One of the awards is to reach this goal within 17 turns, which we smash out with no issues with 3 turns to spare. However, I did not realise that one of the awards was to defeat all the enemies, which I left one with very minuscule health. Remember this for later. Afterwards, we take our Mario. Lyn drops an absolute banger of a boss theme with Indistinguishable. Not to say that the soundtrack of the game hasn't been great regardless. Mario's fight is quite simple, you just need to knock these explosive bouquets that she throws at you into the tank to knock her down to inflict major damage with an all-out attack. During the fight, Toshiro manages to get all the way up to the chapel's wedding bell. We lure Mario underneath it for a devastating end to her tyranny. which grabs us the achievement for beating the First Kingdom's boss. The team then share their victory and goodbyes before they head through the door, which presumably will take them home. But alas, they appear in what seems to be another kingdom, but themed after the Edo period this time around. Erina stumbles through the door as well, which means there's something more that they need to accomplish here. They quickly find out that someone by the name of Yoshiki is the ruler here, but it seems that someone is being attacked by his guards. The thieves step in to lend a hand. The girl in the kimono reveals herself to be Yuki. Toshiro believes that he knows her, but he can't quite place his finger on it. Yuki leads the team back to her place, which is also revealed to be another LeBlanc. Disregarding the geographical inconsistencies, we are shown that the ruler Yoshiki provides his citizens with his definition of love, which is slowly revealed to be all a sham, and more on that later. The team decided that he'll be the next target to take down and to rescue the oppressed citizens. Lavenza calls us back into the Velvet Room and advises that we can now use special fusions which allow us to use 3 or more personas. This will be important for our persona compendium down the line. Moving forward, we spot another citizen being harassed and the team steps in to do their thing. During this mission, we pick up Ryuji and Haru's exclusive trophies for shock and hypnosis respectively. This puts us at 15 out of 40 achievements. Not bad so far, so be sure to hit that like button to boost up that achievement process. After rescuing the citizen, they are revealed to be the silk shop owner, which Yuki was going to take us to in the first place in order to sneak into Yoshiki's castle. The team get outfitted in samurai garbs and kimonos as we look for a way to sneak in. But before doing so, we take on a sneaky quest and pop the achievement for walking 10,000 squares while trying to use all 3 of my brain cells to figure out the solution. When going back to upgrade Haru's weapon, I pick up the achievement for Big Spender for buying 10 weapons. We finally clear the quest and grab those bonus skill tree points. From one quest to another, we head straight to another one, related to Ryuji and Makoto, where the goal is to push the box into the end zone. Nothing to comment here, but we blasted through this in one try. Absolute night and day in comparison to the last one. The next part of the story has the thieves break into the enemy stronghold to gather intel. I decide to go with Ann, Ryuji and Yusuke, as between all 3 of them, they have 1 brain cell, and it actually belongs to Joker. We get the intel, which lets Futaba, Mona, and Toshiro get access to the secret room. During the feuds that take place inside the stronghold, we also grab the achievement for 50 all-out attacks. Futaba is able to broadcast the wrongdoings of Yoshiki to the public, which throws the citizens into disarray. Yoshiki finally makes his appearance and reveals himself to be actually Toshiro's father. We clear out the enemies and make our escape. Toshiro goes into the details about his relationship with his dad. He was seen as Yoshiki's gateway to the Diet Building and pushed him to become Prime Minister, partially the reason that LeBlanc is seen as his hideout, as Toshiro saw this as his own little getaway, not to be recognized. Team encourages Toshiro to stand up to his old man and push through his BS. But before heading out, Lavenza gives us the ability to turn personas into weapons. This will come in handy later on for some achievements. We do grab another achievement for dismantling 10 weapons, as I ditched the obsolete guns. We then take on some more levels and clear a few quests before it's time to take on the main act and begin the main assault on Yoshiki's castle. During the raid, the gang is teleported to a creepy theme park area where Toshiro is confronted by Yuki, the woman that the group saved earlier. Yuki is revealed to be Toshiro's mother, and the voices being heard are the lies that are planted by Toshiro's dad. Due to Yuki's sickness, she had collapsed on Toshiro as they were at the local amusement center when Toshiro snuck her out of the hospital for a day out. She had passed away due to her illness, and Toshiro thought he was the one to blame, thanks to his father. Time to take that bastard down. We run through a 3-section stage where the goal is to reach Yoshiki and pop a cap in him. After successfully blasting him, we finish up Kingdom 2 with another trophy for the record. Yoshiki tries to attack Toshiro, but Yuki takes the hit for him, telling Toshiro that he's not a mistake and loves him dearly. The team head for the next door and find themselves in a sunset-themed city with speakers everywhere. The building looks to be a high school as the group investigates inside. Another odd door appears and they head through to defeat some enemies. After clearing them out, they are approached by the citizens of this world, which are part of the Rebel Club. They request the team's help to hunt for doors and find keys inside of them. Upon going to the next one, they find in the courtyard, Toshiro finds one of these keys are actually bandages. This triggers a flashback to his high school years, and we are introduced to a girl that looks oddly similar to Erina, Eri Natsuhara. Eri helps Toshiro run the entire school council. As the team progresses through the school, finding new keys, Toshiro is determined that the ruler of this kingdom must be one of the corrupt teachers that they rebelled against, Nakabachi, who blackmailed most of the school to reach his position of vice principal. In between the cutscenes, we grab an achievement for fusing 10 weapons and doing over 2,000 points of damage in one attack. Toshiro and Eri gather the entire school body to testify against Nakabachi in hopes of ousting him from the school. The team heads over to the final room to take on Nakabachi, which ends up being a really easy fight. Afterwards, we are shown the events of the fallout with Nakabachi. Both Toshiro and Eri recall how he resigned from his position and is currently looking at doing potential jail time. While waiting for the train, a deranged Nakabachi approaches them from behind at the station and pushes Eri right in front of it. As the rebel club turns on the thieves, as Toshiro is blamed for Eri's attack, Erina disappears and a mysterious voice calls out to the team saying that they were foolish to think that Nakabachi was the ruler. We then fight our way out and pick up Makoto's special attack trophy for using her skill to draw enemies closer. After holding out, the team escapes and we are shown another flashback of Eri in hospital with Toshiro visiting. Thankfully alive, but it seems that she has lost her carefree and rebellious spirit. Toshiro is inspired by the Phantom Thieves and asks for their help as they head to the student council room. They find Erina here, and the ruler is actually revealed to be Toshiro's shadow. The shadow captures the team and holds Erina hostage. Another flashback occurs where Eri tells Toshiro that she doesn't regret her actions, as she helped the student body that they were destined to protect. Although she might be a little bit behind, she'll eventually catch up to Toshiro. Erina tells Toshiro to find his will and actually remember how the story went. Toshiro gathers his strength and attacks his shadow, and reaches out to Erina, mimicking the same day that he reached for Eri on the train. This reveals the scar that was on his hand when he saved Eri. After pulling her back up, Toshiro awakens to his persona, who is revealed to be Erina. In one of the most badass reveals for a persona, Erina is shown to be Ernesto. Toshiro then becomes a permanent fourth party member. However, we still have access to Erina as a fully playable character. We then easily take down the Shadow Toshiro. However, he has one more trick up his sleeve. Trying to play on Toshiro's biggest regret, he takes on the appearance of a beaten and battered giant Eri. With his resolve stronger than ever, we defeat the ghostly Eri and nab another achievement for clearing the third kingdom. Just when we think the story can't get any weirder, like a traditional JRPG, the final boss makes himself known. Samael, another god who thinks their way of thinking is the only way, trying to offer a peace solution. This guy clearly didn't get the memo of what happened to the last benevolent god. After his long-winded speech, he retreats back into the clouds, and a flying blue train piloted by a familiar face gives us a ticket to chase him down. Lavenza explains the situation to the team and reassures us that defeating Samael is the only way of getting home and finally bringing peace to the land. The team set out and were tasked with making their way through the grey monochrome kingdom. While in the first few levels, we snagged the achievement for using a unique skill 50 times. Shortly after, Lavenza provides us with the last 3 quests that we need to complete for our quest log, and this will also open up the Phantom Thieves' ultimate skills. Upon completing the last quest, we grab the achievement for finishing all the quests and unlock the fusion recipe for Satanael, Joker's ultimate persona. While making our way to Samael, we encounter familiar foes, as we have rematches with all of the previous kingdom rulers. This also opens up to one of the sickest boss themes with Lynn's Indistinguishable, however in an instrumental format. While blasting through the boss rush, I pick up the trophy for putting 20 enemies to sleep with sleep-inflicting weapons, and right before we take on the final boss, we are awarded the trophy for listening to all the hideout conversations. Now it's time to take on Samael. The tricky bastard throws absolutely everything at us. But we pull through with Toshiro and Erina's bond, and together with Joker, we plant a flag on that silly god's forehead. Now, with the world all crumbling around us, the team books it to the train, and Lavenza rolls us back to the first kingdom. The team have to say goodbye, as Erina is not able to return with us to the real world, as she's only a manifestation of Toshiro's heart. After the tearful exchange with the thieves, we are back in the real world. Toshiro gains his newfound confidence and shuts down both Marie and Yoshiki in the real world to expose their crimes. After doing so, Toshiro calls the team and lets them know that he's starting fresh and he's grateful for all their help. The usual P5 team antics occur in LeBlanc before we go to the credits. We're then treated to a very heartwarming epilogue scene, showing Toshiro's fresh start, along with a familiar face coming to see him, leaving us with a beautiful reunion, and more importantly, giving us the achievement for finishing the game. This leaves us with 30 out of 40 achievements, so let's go and do the cleanup. First, I go and reload my first save before the boss fight to figure out which mission I'd forgotten to get all the awards on. Do you remember that mission that I left one enemy standing? Yeah, it was that one. This gives us the achievement for completing all the awards. Following this, I spent my next few sessions grinding up some cash so I can grab the remaining achievements. My best suggestions are to make personas that can get both cash bonuses and experience bonuses, as I spent the next 2 hours grinding up cash so I could reach the 66666 achievement, purchase 50 unique weapons, reach level 99, and have enough battle points to finish the skill tree. And lastly, summon Saturnalia. Now I'm left with fusing all the remaining personas and playing 500 turns. After fusing absolutely everything in the compendium, including the hidden fusions, I was left on 94%. I was confused why this was the case. After looking online, it seems that some of the personas, namely the previous game's personas used as DLC, are New Game Plus exclusive. Reluctantly, I loaded up New Game Plus, and also found that my level had been reset, but I had my full compendium available. So I blasted through about 80% of the game, picking up the 500 turn achievement within the first hour, and reaching level 90, which allowed me to create Messiah, finally completing the compendium. But Dwayne, you've only got 38 out of 40 achievements, you ask. What are you missing? I'm missing one of the hardest achievements left. Use Baton Pass 10 times. In other words, die 10 times and swap out to other party members. Over the course of the game, I died maybe 2 or 3 times, so I needed to speedrun the other couple of deaths. So here's a montage, and we can finally grab the platinum for Persona 5 Tactica. With a rough playtime of around 42 hours, this was one of my faster platinums. Regardless, I hope you've enjoyed this journey of me getting Persona 5 Tactica's platinum. I'm not sure if I'm going to do this platinum video for Persona 3 Reload, but I am tempted. The only thing that does concern me is the volume of footage involved is quite worrisome. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, be sure to hit that like button and leave a comment if you'd like to see me take on other titles in the future. It was Dwayne here from DweHQ. I'll see you in the next one.